We now take you to the rural parts of Afghanistan where former poppy farmers are looking for alternatives. With the Taliban now banning opium cultivation, these farmers fear for their livelihoods.
This is Helmand province in Afghanistan, 600 kilometers away from Kabul. These farmers here are cultivating cotton, something which is not a viable substitute for their farmer livelihood. Poppy. Last April, Taliban Supreme Leader Hibatullah Akhundzada declared poppy cultivation strictly prohibited.
Following a decree issued by the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, all Afghans are informed that from now on cultivation of poppy has been strictly prohibited across the country.
Farmers were warned by the Taliban that their crops would be destroyed and they could face imprisonment if they continued with the harvest. Well, that's what the new rulers of Afghanistan officially said. Ghulam Rasool, a former poppy farmer, said that Taliban authorities had promised to provide them with a profitable alternative, but the reality is completely different.
We wouldn't have any other worries if the Taliban helped us, but because they crushed our poppy fields, they should give us help and alternatives. They haven't given us anything so far.
Takeover almost 2 years back, Afghanistan was the world's biggest producer of poppies. Despite billions of dollars spent by the international community to eradicate the drug which is used to make heroin, the country had a monopoly on opium and heroin, accounting for 80 to 90% of global output. This accounted for up to 14% of the country's GDP. Today, Afghanistan meets 80% of the world's opiate demand. The Taliban were largely successful in eradicating poppy agriculture at the tail end of their first rule from 1996 to 2000. 2 decades later, they are aiming to do the same. The current ban has dealt a severe blow to millions of impoverished farmers and day laborers who depend on the proceeds from the crop. With most of the population struggling to afford food and the country suffering its worst drought in years, the situation is dire.
We previously had lots of labor people working for us to remove weeds and then collect the poppy, but this year we do not have anyone working for us.
What options do farmers have now? That's the big question. On the 12th of May in the northeastern Daraim district of Badakhshan province of Afghanistan, at least 4 farmers were killed by the Taliban and 5 others have been injured in a dispute over the poppy field destruction. Taliban on record says that it is relentless in its pursuit to destroy the opium poppy cultivation. But the surge in the global supplies, all sourced from Afghanistan, shows how hollow the promise is. Drugs are a menace. It destroys lives and livelihoods. But Afghanistan is a pariah state, caught in a time warp. The world powers make grand statements, but after the exit of the Americans, no one wants to roll up their sleeve and tackle the problem. And in all of this, it's the farmers who have no other option but to continue to work in the poppy fields.